Okay. Okay, so now it is 7:02 and I'd like to call to order this meeting, regular meeting of the Bangor School Committee. It is Wednesday, November 17th. And we will go ahead and get started. Welcome to everyone here in the room and online. If we could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Mr. Tager, are there any adjustments to the agenda?
Yes, we're going to be adding an action item under D1.
Okay, thank you. And for public comments, I just have a quick statement I'd like to read. Members of the public may address the school committee for up to 3 minutes on school and education matters. Complaints or allegations concerning specific employees or students will not be allowed, but will be addressed through established policies and procedures. Public comments shall be directed to the school committee and be brief and not repetitive. Before starting, please state your name and place of residence. Do we have any public comments today? Okay, perfect. So moving on to superintendent's proposals and updates. Number 1, action items.
Okay, this school committee is an addition. I'm recommending approval to the adjustment made to the 2021-2022 school calendar. The early student release day on December 23rd, 2021 will provide school-based teacher and ed tech collaborations for the afternoon. So we're looking at the day before the holiday break to allow our early release day. What that would do is it would allow our teachers and our ed techs a chance to collaborate and work together, school-based, on the work that they need to do at their schools. Also, I think it sends a very positive message. We've been able to maintain in-person learning. And I know that we had 3 of these early release days last year, but I'm recommending that we do one on that day. And I brought it up today. I spoke with our school chair this afternoon, but I brought it up today because we would like to be able to notify parents if you're accepting of this proposal so they can make plans for that day for their students.
Okay, can I get a motion, please?
Second.
All right, any discussion or questions? Okay, all in favor?
Motion passes 6-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 2, informational items. And the first thing we have is a student board member. Can I get an update on that, please?
Yes, I would like to introduce our new student representative to the school committee. The student representative is Caroline Sada. She is a junior. When we went through the search for a student, she really rose above. And I really, that's one of my favorite words is to rise up. And she was very impressive as the committee looked into this. We would like to, since it's already November, is add her as our student rep this year with the idea of adding a second one probably in June for next school year. She's a junior, so if she would stay on, we would have another junior next year. That's the recommendation that I got from the group that did the search for me, which was Dr. Leach, Member Surratt, and Principal Butler. The one thing I want to remind you of is in our policy, the Bangor School Department recognizes the value of student voice in the governance of the school system and encourages student participation through the position of student representative. So very excited to have you here, Caroline. I would like, there's also, if you look at your agenda, there's a student committee member update under F3. So she will be updating us at each meeting about things that are happening at the high school and maybe some of the other schools as well. Are there additional thoughts, Member Surratt, that you would like to share about Caroline?
Yes, absolutely. So first of all, I want to welcome Caroline to our committee. I'm really excited to hear from you, hear about student issues, and really have that student voice elevated at these public meetings. So I'm very excited about that. I want to thank Principal Butler, Dr. Leach, for the thorough process they put together to choose the final candidate. There was a lot of interest, and as Superintendent Tager mentioned, Caroline really did rise above the rest, and we're thrilled she's here.
Caroline, I'd like to welcome you. Is there anything you'd like to share with the school committee?
Hello, everyone. My name is Caroline, as you know. I'm really excited to be in this position. I'm really interested in government and service to other people, and I think this will be a great experience to have my voice be included in the discussion and be a representative for the student body. At my high school, I am in the Humanities Academy. I'm really interested in literature and history. And after high school, I plan to attend a 4-year college. I don't know exactly what I want to do yet, but I know that it's going to be a liberal-based education because I'm just so interested in so many different topics, and I like a more interdisciplinary approach. And I think this will be a really great experience for me to develop a sense of what community means and really participate in the process. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And we are super excited to have you here on the committee with us. And what I would love to do is to have a second student by the end of the year. So as a committee, I think we need to kind of look into that, getting a second student that can mentor and be your mentee as well. So welcome again. Okay, and then the next thing we have on informational items is our COVID grant update.
Director of Business Services, Jerry Heyman, will update you on the COVID grants.
Last meeting, I was asked to put together a report on COVID spending to date, and I've done so in your packet. It's the COVID grant update report. Just a little bit of background. The federal government obviously issues these funds and passes them on to the state.
Jerry, if you'll turn your mic on.
Thank you. I thought it was on. It kind of, anyway. So the federal government passes the money on to the state, but there are stated objectives, funding levels, object codes, which are things like salary and benefits and purchase service that one must conform to, and categories such as student support, staff support. So it's a very rigid structure that they lay out. It's not, you just can't do the Wild West approach to it. So the administration puts together, with input from constituents, a budget that fits in those parameters. They submit it to the state. It's reviewed. And when it's accepted, you're able to go ahead and start spending. And as you spend, each reimbursement request is also scrutinized to make sure it meets those same objectives that you laid out in your budget. So there's a lot of oversight with it. So that's brief background. There's 3 main COVID grants that we've been using so far. The very first one, that you serve one grant, was $1.4 million. And I'm not going to read all the dollars spent. I'm going to read the categories instead, because the dollars are in front of you. This particular grant had some built-in funding for a couple private schools. That's the way the state wanted it. So we had some funding set up for All Saints and Bangor Christian. And those funds were fully dispersed by them. We also did plastic storage bins. It was felt that they needed to separate students' items from each other, PPE supplies and equipment, hotspots, food service supplies, and student supplies. So far, we spent, as of June 30th, $262,000. This particular grant goes to September 30th of 2022, so we have plenty of time to spend the rest of the grant. The second grant is called CRF1, Coronavirus Relief Fund. And this was for $3 million. We spent money on plexiglass barriers for all the schools, air purifiers and filters for every room, every office, PPE supplies and equipment, a little bit of computer equipment, a lot of custodial supplies in cleaning products. We spent on cameras and access control to make sure that we knew comings and going and secure distancing, et cetera. We spent some money on hotspots, student supplies, food service supplies. And the big thing in this grant was we spent $1.1 million on the HVAC improvement for the B wing at Bangor High School. We had a number of air quality complaints when we opened back up, and we discovered the HVAC system was in disrepair, and we addressed that immediately. So that fund had to be fully expended by December 31st of last year, and it was 100% expended. The third grant that we've been utilizing right along, the CRF2, it was for $3.2 million. This is the one where we really dove into our computer equipment and devices, and we spent $2.2 million on the computer equipment. We also spent some money on storage containers, more cameras and access control, PPE supplies and equipment, student supplies, continuous custodial supplies and equipment. And that one also had to be fully expended by December 31st of 2020, and it was. So today, those are the three main grants that we've expended. We have two more that are active, and you'll hear more about them as we spend them over the next year or next 2 years. So any questions on this?
Member Mandela?
Yeah, thank you. So what's the outstanding balance now for the ESSER 1? How much money have we not spent?
As of June 30th, approximately 1.2 million.
Okay.
We've been spending it since June 30th. We've invested in a number of staffing. We are paying for our graduation coach, our mentor coach. We invested in a large piece of custodial equipment for the Bangor High that we delivered, I believe, next week. That's a robotic cleaner. I don't know if you've seen them in the Sam's Club and Walmarts of the world, but they program a set pattern, and they can do floors continuously without interruption, without manpower, and we also are testing a more secure school approach, front entrance approach to one of our schools. So we have that design in the works, and we're ready to go there. And we're also in that same school doing away with locks. We're going to go with the fob access inside and out. So we're active. It's going to take some time, but that's what we've been doing since June 30th.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I had a follow-up too.
Sure.
I know in the surveys that we did with the community, there was a lot of concern about mental health issues and possibly spending the money on that. I don't know if you or Mr. Tager could speak to how and if that any mental health services are being covered in the ESSER money. I know that we had talked at one point about hiring another psychologist. So
We focused a lot of the staffing and the mental health issues and what's called, because they love initials, ARP, ESSER. I call it ESSER 3. It was just awarded for $12.9 million. We just got word probably less than a month ago, and in it, there's a lot of positions that we are currently discussing with staff to roll out in the next few months. So that's the main area where we're focusing our dollars on mental health.
and is there a systematic way that the staff are being brought into the budgeting process? Like a survey of teachers and staff members, anything like that?
I'm not sure can you explain the question a little more?
Yeah, like getting ideas from teachers and staff about what the needs are, what they see funding needs to be.
That was done as we put the grant together. We had meetings and surveys with all constituents, from the public to staffing to students. Everybody was included. We categorized the main requests, and mental health was obviously there, as well as things like air quality. So we're made sure that in our design that we put together for the state, it addressed all those issues.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I think the only thing I would add, Member Mundell, is Christie's been really working and looking at the fact that, you know, we have over 700 special ed students, and we have a number of students that I guess, for lack of a better word, are acting out that we haven't really seen before, which Dr. Rogers kind of talked about. So we are looking at some school-wide behavioral type systems, and we're looking at professional learning. So I would say that Christie's on this, and just to reiterate what Jerry said, Kathy did a really good job of surveying all of our stakeholders initially, and that was one of the more popular items as that, and a lot of the facilities items too, with the cleaner air and those type of things, were big as well.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? All right, thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Heyman. Okay, so next on the agenda is a tuition student update, Mr. Tager.
Yes, Principal Paul Butler, School Counselor Dr. Adam Leach, and Director of Communications Ray Finney will share with the Bangor School Department plans to recruit more tuition students to Bangor schools.
Thank you very much for allowing us to come and talk about tuition students. The information that we have has taken a lot of research and communication with other departments outside of the Bangor School Department to get. I wanted to start with providing you with an overview of where the 5-year history of where our tuition students come from. Behind the box of us is 2017. And in 2017, we had 162 students from the outside sending school districts. As you'll see, the districts include AOS 47, which is Orrington and Dedham, RSU 34, Old Town, which also includes the town of Bradley, Indian Island, Milford, RSU 63, which includes Clifton, Eddington, Holden, Glenburn, Brewer, Levant, Orland, Otis, Penobscot, and Vesey. Over the past 5 years, our numbers have slightly declined from 162 to 113 this year. Our next slide actually talks about what our school looks like this year. So we've broken this down by grade level so that you can actually be more informative of what our numbers really look like. For RSU 34, we have 5 students, Brewer 1, RSU 63, we have 30, AOS 47, 19, Glenburn 37, Milford 1, Orland 1, and last but not least, Vesey with 17. These students come from all over for different reasons, for different programs, and they are involved in athletics as well as clubs and organizations and many of our programs in our academies. Some of the challenges that our tuition students face that have been identified by us are transportation. Busing is something that is not available for all students from all districts. There are some that do provide transportation, and I'll cover that in the next slide. Conformity, or following where your friends go to school. If one person has a real affinity for one school, they can really sway their friends as to where their friends go. And so when recruiting students or when talking with students and engaging with them, it's sometimes hard to change minds. And last but not least, the size of Bangor High School. Many people who are parents of today's high school students remember Bangor High School as being 16 or 1,700 students at one point in time. And we really want to encourage them to remember that we're a big, small school, and that our students actually experience classroom size of around 14 students per class, that they get one-on-one attention, and that even though our building may be big, the feeling inside the school is personal and attentive to every student. Back to transportation, Glenburn, RSU 63, and Orland provide transportation for their students to Bangor High School. Districts that do not provide transportation are AOS 47, VZ, Milford, and Bradley. And Jerry and I have had conversations in regards to transportation. We're looking at talking with Sear Bus Lines in regards to offering service to portions of VZ because it is very close to Bangor. Stillwater and State Street in Bangor abut parts of VZ, and there's a route through Chase Road that we think may benefit some students and be able to attract more students to our school. In talking with some of the other departments in the area, it's in regards to timing of when our schools release at the end of the day. For example, students from Orrington and Dedham can use transportation to get to us in the morning, but our dismissal time at the end of the day does not work with getting students back to their communities, and therefore it relies on parents to pick up their students. How will we get our message out? So marketing is really important in regards to how we communicate with our students and how we engage with them. In talking with Dr. Leach, we've talked about print materials because parents really like to have something physical and tactile in their hands. They like to be able to walk back home, review all the material, and then form questions and get back in touch with us. So we're creating a view book, which will highlight the different programs at the high school, as well as the activities and extracurricular and co-curricular activities that are available. We have an information sheet that has some very quick points that are available in regards to highlights of the high school. For digital, we're looking at targeting students, and I've actually been working with Eric Hutchins, who is one of our teachers in the performing arts department, in regards to what apps students actually use in regards to social media. Parents use Facebook, and I have a lot of great information about what time parents log on to Facebook, when I can post something, and when I can target them to actually read a post. Students, on the other hand, do not have Facebook. My daughter recently told me that she wanted to download Snapchat because she couldn't talk to her friends because I only allowed her to have Messenger. So it was a learning experience for me to know what they were using. So we plan on developing that. On our website, we're working with the guidance department in regards to making our website more robust and enhanced so students can get questions, working very closely with guidance counselor Pelletier Ayer in regards to the content of the site and what we put on our social media in regards to scholarships, applying for colleges, and other activities that would interest students going on to 4-year or 2-year educational opportunities. And last but not least on that side is experiences, inviting students to events at our schools, engaging with them, having them be in and outside of our schools. In the past month, we've actually invited outside schools to 2 of our athletic events. We invited them to the women's soccer game, the final that they were in, and to the football game. We had great attendance from local schools. It was a lot of fun to see them. And we know that to get people to engage with us, we need to give them time to be able to make plans to attend. For the women's soccer game, we had about 48 hours notice, and we had 6 people show up. For the football game, we had 4 days notice, and we had over 60 people show up from outside districts. So we know that we can get people to engage with us. Other interactions are using our mentoring program in surrounding schools with things such as homework club or students assisting with club sports or varsity sports at other schools, and getting students to help coach and work with those teams as well, and working very closely with Julie Kimball on that. Relationships, we want to start early, start young, and so that they understand what Bangor has to offer. And this includes building programs that students can engage in that connects them to Bangor High School. Part of that is using athletics, but also using programs such as performing arts. I've been talking with teacher Els Hammond in regards to the play that they have going, that they're preparing this year. And our plan is that when we are ready for that play, to invite middle school students to a private showing, but also after the play to have a time where the students can ask the students questions about how they prepared, what was it like to be in a play, and how do they choose that as a pathway for them. Other parts are actually working with Matt Tipton, who is the band teacher at the high school. He has plans to actually invite students from sending districts to participate with the band at basketball games in the fall, or in December and the spring, as well as other opportunities. So it's using all the different pieces that we have to engage with students outside and inside the classroom. Also working with STEM, we're working with teacher Kate Roberts in regards to robotics, and Barbara, I can't remember Barbara's last name. Barbara Stewart is actually amazing as well in regards to the opportunities that she has of getting students in to see what students can do in the STEM program. At this point in time, I'll actually ask Principal Paul Butler to come up and talk about engagement.
It's been terrific to have Ray, Mr. Finney aboard to help with the nuts and bolts and pulling everything together. I think of engagement in the physical, literal sense. Like everything else, we've had some limitations over the last couple of years. Of that first tier of engagement, we're invited to the sending schools that were referenced on the table. We physically are invited out, usually about this time of year, moving into January, for an evening at those schools with parents. They take different shape and form, from a typical round robin at Glenburn, where all the schools that are potential high schools of choice for the outgoing class or the current 8th grade class. You have a little interaction with parents, a general overview, and then you break out and they roll through 10 or 12-minute sessions. So you get a first chance to speak about the school, talk some, but listen more. And the first conversation, no matter what the arrangement is for us, is to really talk about the fundamental, which is the academic program. And, it's funny, we, again, try to listen more than we talk. And the fielding of questions is sometimes a slow start, but it picks up speed. And typically, the main question, Mr. Finney hit it, is concern about the size of the school. I remember pre-COVID at Glenburn, a number of years before COVID, I got a question. Is it true that, from a Glenburn parent, is it true that class sizes at Bangor High School are 30? Averages almost fell down. I said, we got some work to do. They said, we might have 1 or 2 classes that for, whatever reason on the books are close to 30, but not even close to that. At that point, it was 18 and a half or 19 close per class size. So the first opportunity since then, anytime we get a chance to engage people on campus physically in the building, whether it be for an evening, a parent invitation to come in for a session, we always leave a couple of classrooms, lights on, set up for learning, and let them go in and feel and see it, and see how, we're not the most of our classrooms aren't even capacity to hit 30. And so that's a way of starting them to demystify, the size of the school. It's a big physical plant, but we do like to send that message and have people understand by the numbers and by seeing the building, and when it's empty and when it's full, that we want that small school feel. So we engage when we go. Again, the visits to those schools, that first contact with families, takes various shapes and forms, but they're important. Dr. Leach is a big part of that, Mrs. Ayer, and Mr. Finney now. We'll do those. We'll communicate upcoming opportunities to engage physically at school, and we've diversified the ways, as Mr. Finney described, of having people on campus for the gamut of events that we offer. Athletics are a big draw, but that's not the only thing that we offer. One of the things that we started offering as a starting point really for students, is that idea of inducting them into service. So we shifted, for example, our Key Club to meeting in the mornings before school and being a place where we try to induct students into a club or activity, when honestly, they would otherwise be standing around the lobby of Peaks as 9th graders, kind of looking at each other, getting to know each other. So that type of engagement, we do run them through. We've had, again, I'm really happy and excited to be able to offer some of the different things that the whole societal slowdown caused us not to be able to do. Shadows, we have a customized shadow program. Dr. Leach is going to talk about the way that we recruit our students for various reasons to be hosts of shadows. We like to highlight that there's a comprehensive program. So we'll customize a day with stops, not only following a student's schedule, but handing off so they can see the arts, so that they can see the STEM program. For that matter, out of the chute, the academies were a big draw, but we got some really good feedback. And Dr. Lee shared this a few years ago, actually more than a few years ago, that maybe we were too heavy on just the academic component. Maybe that was scaring some people away. The opportunities to hit the ceiling academically are many, and maybe we were too much on that. And we started talking about balancing the balance of experiences at school, co-curricular and otherwise. And The whole package, unfortunately, felt like we were getting it just right. You know, to give some context to that 2017, there were 55 tuition students that year of a huge class. And we knew there was a cliff coming. They're typically in the mid 30s. Mal and Stout will, you know, for some reason, have pretty good accuracy around predicting, knowing the amount of students, number of students are going to come in any given year. We've had some years where and we too typically, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but acquire students who have originally made a different choice and have come to Bangor High School after feeling that their first choice wasn't the right one. But we typically end up around 35-ish students in a typical run. And it's one year it was uncanny that we had exactly 36 students in every class at the high school. We got some work to do, but the most important thing is they feel the school. You know, we can talk all day long. We can give them little snippets, but we want them to see and feel from the student perspective, from the ground up. And we'll be doing more and more of that. And I know that when students have the opportunity to experience an extended time with teachers, with the quality of engagement, with the feel that they bring to learning, I know that that's a critical hook for them, because that's really how you feel it, with the quality of the staff and the structure of the day and the opportunity to explore all the disciplines is, I think, a hallmark of our school. And sort of the culmination is the spring showcase that we're looking forward to. Maybe reviving a little bit of older flair. It might have been toned down a little bit in recent years, but that's the night when every amazing thing in each of the departments is on display. Usually it culminates with opportunity to see the one act, but there's an open invitation for people to see student work, travel the entire building, and see active demonstrations of learning at really high levels, and just to feel that it's cool to be smart and engaged at Bangor High School.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions?
I think they're still going.
There's-
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Couple more slides, I think.
I just clicking them. All right, so the most important way to interact with students that are considering a high school is to have them interact directly with the students. They can listen to adults talk, but the best thing to do is to put them in a position to be able to picture themselves in the learning environment, in the building, in the clubs and activities and things like that. So looking forward to this year, you know, we've usually relied upon the student council to help us with some student support when we welcome students into the building. This year, we'll be looking at actually doing some pre-training with them and getting about 30 more diverse group, so that you have some ninth graders that are probably experiencing the step up in this current year, as well as some of the veterans that can talk a little bit more about the wide range of experiences throughout high school. 30 students will be really essential because there's a lot of visits, there's a lot of interactions with a lot of people over a long period of time. And it's too much to ask of our own students to take that much time interrupting their own academic experience. So the more the merrier, the more people we can get involved, the easier it is to make sure that our students can be supportive to our visitors, but also not have a negative experience that takes them away from their own learning. And so to get people from a wide range of experiences and interests is really important, because the students are coming to us with a wide range of interests and experience. And that's really what the whole process is about. It's not as much about us. While we want to talk about us and we want to promote us, we have to talk about them, and they have to see students that will reflect them in that interaction. What do we talk about? For me, it's not big bad Bangor, it's big better Bangor, and embracing the big. We are twice the size of our nearest competitor, if you will, in trying to recruit students. You can't hide that we're big. But one of the great things about being big is the fact that I can honestly, with sincerity, say to students, I can make sure that I can custom design a schedule, a 4-year plan for anyone. Because we have size, and the economy of size allows us to custom design with greater efficiency than smaller schools are able to do. And that's when I talk about the things such as there are 14 sections of grade 9 English. If you want to mix and match an honors English class with a pre-algebra, because you might need, you're not as far ahead in mathematics as you are in English, we can do that. You're not on an honors track in every subject, and that is true of most students. They can accelerate in one, but might need support in another. Mixing and matching different interests, JROTC, music, trying on AP courses and in the different subject areas. So as Mr. Butler said, we do want to highlight the fact that we can accelerate, we can take people to some pretty exciting heights, but that again does not apply to every single student that we're talking to. Bangor is the only recruiting school in the area that does not have an application. We have a registration. And so we are very careful to point out that we open our arms and we are welcoming to students of all types and all kinds. And when they ask, what's the application deadline? There is no application deadline. There is, when you turn in your registration, we say, welcome to Bangor High School, you're a Ram. And it's, that's the kind of message I think that really hits home with a lot of people. So in the slide, you can see the many different, some examples. Those are just some examples. And the ability to mix and match all of those, I think really makes us at least a top 2 choice of all of the students that we get to talk to.
And I actually came with one question for you guys, an ask. My ask for you is to help us with parent testimonials and alumni testimonials. We have a ton of students who will talk for days about the opportunities that they have at Bangor High School, but we need to hear from our parents and from the alumni who have graduated. So if you are aware of any of them, my email is actually on the slide. It's rfinney@bangorschools.net. I'm on the website. If you send a message to any of our social media accounts, it is me. So I can definitely take those. I would love to be able to share the stories of all of our students, past, present, as well as their parents. And we're open for any questions that you may have.
Member Surratt.
First, thank you for the report. This is fascinating and an important topic. I have a few questions. The first one, I'm curious about the declining numbers. Do you have any thoughts on whether that's just a general decline in student populations across the board? Or have you reached out to guidance counselors at the middle schools or principals at the middle schools and said, why are less students coming?
There's a couple of different reasons, and thank you for that question. The pandemic has actually been difficult on a lot of our schools, and across our area, there are some students and some individuals who have decided to do remote learning no matter what. And so that has impacted the numbers. We have approximately 230 to 240 students that are available to go to high schools in the area outside of Brewer, Bangor, the schools that actually have their own populations, so sending school districts. Also in that, other schools have started recruiting students from areas that were typically Bangor students. So if you look, actually, let me go back. If you look at one of the first slides that we have, and you look at the numbers from, when you look at the numbers from Glenburn, you'll notice that we started at 93, and this year we're at 38. Orono and Herman recruit very heavily from Glenburn, and they've actually added transportation to that school where there was not transportation offered earlier. So there's more competition for those students.
Yep.
You'll also notice the last 2 years are the pandemic years. And so recruiting virtually and not having students be able to experience Bangor High School, the fears that we talked about on the slide, the 3 areas, not being able to go inside and actually experience what the high school was, or see your club, or be able to play sports, really played a factor in our ability to recruit students or engage with students.
I wanted to ask you this too, and thank you for that. Do you ever reach out to the ninth grader that accepts, or the eighth grader that accepts, and say, what clinched it for you? You know, why are you coming to Bangor?
So I've had the fortunate experience of having one of those students. My daughter is actually a ninth grader this year. And last year, as a father of an eighth grader, I actually attended all of the school presentations and was able to see what other schools had to offer. Especially in a pandemic, when you're not able to attend a school, what kind of information were they putting out? What were they doing with their websites? What were they doing with their videos? And how are they engaging students? And what messages was it? The reason that my daughter chose Bangor, not just because I work here, but time was one of those things. Other schools, because we live in Eddington and we are in a sending school district. For example, Brewer had band at 7:10 in the morning, and she thought of her younger brother and how he doesn't get out of bed, and trying to get to school without a bus. How would she do that? So that was an issue. Transportation was an issue for her. And so knowing that there was a bus that would take her to Bangor and a bus that would take her home was part of that issue, part of that reason why she chose Bangor. And Eddington does a great job with busing students and getting them in places they need to be. Other students seem to choose Bangor because of academic programs and the ability to be what they want to be, like Dr. Leach talked about. Being able to take AP courses, or the ability to do early college, the academies, but also there were so many different course offerings that ability to change your mind halfway through your sophomore year was a draw for students if they wanted to.
That's great. Thank you. One thing I want to mention was what Principal Butler said about, of course, the academics is a selling point, but maybe it's not the sole focus or the most highly emphasized piece. One thing in conversations I have with parents who have children outside of the district that they're very jealous of in Bangor, and I've heard Mr. Vanetta mention this many times. It's those clubs, those organizations, and beyond sports is really a hook. And I think parents are really interested in their kids getting engaged in something at a school, and Bangor can really offer that. I think Steve said something like 95% of Bangor high school students are involved in at least one club or something. I've heard that statistic
They
before.
are, absolutely.
I think that's a hugely important draw.
And the people who run our clubs and organizations are also really engaged with our students outside of school. I will tell you that Sue Bryant over the summer invited my daughter to art club at the public library 3 times. And she thought that was great that she got to meet other students that she hadn't met before. And she got to experience a little bit about what Bangor High School was before she attended. That really sealed the deal for her, was that a teacher reached out in June after she graduated from her 8th grade and actually talked to her each month over the summer and really engaged with her. There's a lot of opportunities like that. There's a lot of stories like that that are amazing and go untold because we don't hear about them until way past.
And I promise this is my last one. Do we have the capacity? Do we have the equipment to really craft a polished professional video that has parent testimony, teacher testimony, pictures of the schools, the drone footage, all these different things that you see from some of these really polished video? Do we have that capability to create something like that, a 2 to 3 minute video that we could easily disseminate?
We definitely have the technology to do it. It's the time to create it.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, is that all of us have other duties that we do. So it's taking the time to actually carve out that time to do it.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get distracted at times in regards to what our students are doing, and capturing more footage and knowing when you have enough, and what you have is great. And the message is really important. So it's putting it all together, but we do have that technology.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Member Sprague was next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for the presentation. I really enjoyed it. A quick question about what is the goal? Do you have a data point or a number in mind of what you would like the tuition students to become? And then a quick comment just to piggyback on what Member Surratt was saying. And I'm glad to hear you talking about marketing. And I would just add in media as well. I would love to learn more about our media relations policy so that we can use the media in a way to get those positive stories out there. Because I think a lot of us here in Bangor appreciate the very positive things throughout our schools, but people that either didn't grow up in Bangor or don't live in Bangor now don't know those stories. And if we do not tell them ourselves, then others will tell them for us in a less positive way. So
Correct.
I really want to emphasize the role that you, through your position, will play in this, and the role that we can all play in partnering with the media and also the marketing you're talking about. Because these students we're trying to recruit and their families, they are at an impressionable age for marketing.
are.
And I think that we could do some of the things that like Tim and others have talked about, and you yourself have talked about, to get those positive stories out there, because we're always recruiting. We're always in a competitive landscape with these school districts around us. And even if it's not a specific event or a specific invitation, every day we're in competition with the neighboring school districts, and we need to have positive stories out all the time to emphasize everything that's going well in Bangor.
Absolutely.
So-
So I do have a goal. It's a personal goal that I've talked with Superintendent Tager about. It's a rather lofty goal. I think that some other people in the room may think it's too large. My goal is to have 50 students for the upcoming year,
50 more.
50 additional students. It's a large goal.
The 50
great goal.
freshmen.
50 freshmen
Yeah.
is the goal.
Oh, 50 freshmen.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. I love ambitious goals like that. It's realistic, and I wish you well with it.
It doubles our current numbers, but so it's a lofty goal.
And I would just add, if I may quickly, there's a lot of people that do want to provide testimonials that just need to be asked. So I'm happy to work on that myself. And I appreciate you asking, because there's lots of people that have lots of positive things to say, and they want to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think member Sichters is next.
Thank you. So I'm going to pull a Tim Surratt here, and I've got a bunch of stuff because this is Ray and I have talked about
We
this. This
have.
is like totally one of my areas, in part because I mean, we're not having more babies here. So we've got to get those babies to come here from outside and get those tax dollars to pay for it. So this is like, I mean, this is what we need to do to continue to grow our schools. So I'm unbelievably excited that everybody here is a part of this. In terms of the video piece that member Surratt was talking about, and boy, do I ever get the time constraint issue. What about an independent study student? I know my daughter did an independent study last year and is planning another one. So not that you want her doing any video testimonial things, but there are some incredibly talented students. So maybe.
Your daughter was actually really good in her video testimonial. I already have one of her. But yes, and actually working with Mr. Hutchins in regards to his digital media students, that's a project that we're going to be working on very early on in the school year.
Awesome. Yeah, he is incredible.
Yes.
So, okay, so that was one. And two, I do not mean to throw our website under the bus, but there are pictures on there from when my son, who's a senior at university, was not even was an underclassman at Bangor High School. So that is like a missed opportunity to be able to highlight some of these amazing things that we're doing. And for those parents that do care, I mean, there are a lot of parents who are looking, okay, I want my kids to go to an amazing college. And we send students to some incredible universities that do incredible things. And that is a perfect place to be highlighting that.
So 2 weeks ago, I actually had a conversation with Kathleen, our grant writer, in regards to images on our website, which actually Dr. Harris-Smetberg started because of copyright issues that we were talking about with lawsuits and making sure that we were following all copyright laws. And so we actually talked about updating our photos. So we've identified some of them that we feel that would be beneficial on our website. New photos that we've taken from athletic events, student accomplishments, students who have done great research and those different types of things. So yes, we are looking at that as well.
Awesome. Fantastic. And I also wanted to ask about, so I know you had suggested what you want us to do. What else can we do? I mean, is there a committee where you can like round up a bunch of parents that can, you know, I know Sarah and I were talking about exactly this, and, you know, we want We want everybody to realize how unbelievably incredible Bangor High School is and how they like need to be sending their kids here.
So I think that's something that we can talk about with
Mhm.
Superintendent Hager about getting more people involved. This was really just a brief informational period to give you some updates, but I think there's definitely a lot more that we can do.
Awesome. And then final question. Do we ever do any sort of, what are you interested in at any of these? And then so this kid's interested in arts, this kid's interested in science. Okay, we're gonna mix match.
I'm going to ask Dr. Leach to answer that question. Sure, come on up.
So we visit 8 schools, and that's one of the first things that we're going to ask them. What are the kinds of things? Sometimes we get lists of students. We also work directly with the school counselors at those schools. So we kind of, they always do a tally. They look at their students, they say, what schools are you interested? What are their interests? And then those counselors provide feedback to us so that we can have kind of a back and forth dialogue, really from counselor to counselor, and represent the students that way.
Excellent.
Right.
Cool, thanks.
Yep.
Member Mandel.
Yeah, one question and a comment. First, I'll say I've noticed like an exponential increase in social media posts lately, which is just fantastic. I think that's something that in the past we've lacked, and it's really great to see all those posts. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
It's nice. I mean, as a parent, it's nice to get that information and just to know that, I don't know, it's just a positive thing to see. So that's great. Thank you. One question, I know that, I know just from my daughter's experience, a couple people that she knew have left the high school and gone to other schools. These are kids from sending schools who didn't fit in for whatever reason at the high school. Is there a plan to maybe talk to some of those kids to see why they left and if there was some programming gap or something? I mean, it's hard to imagine that would be the case, but just to see what, if we're missing anything.
So in my experience, before I came to Bangor High Schools, I actually worked in higher ed for 19 years. And that was actually part of the process that we had in higher ed, was to find out why our students were leaving. Recruiting students over and over again at a higher education level costs a lot of money. And it's very similar in a high school environment. So it really is important to figure out what attracts your students, but also what causes them to go to other schools. So in the part that we talk about with Superintendent Tager in regards to our next steps, that will be part of it.
Anyone else had a question? So, and my question would be, how many testimonials do we need? Because I have a couple parents for you already.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So actually, I would say that the more the merrier. The reason for that is because we want to make sure that we show the diversity of what our students and our parents
That was my
have
next question.
experienced.
Yeah.
But also there's times where we can use them in different areas, different aspects.
Okay.
Our social media accounts are different than our websites. Our print materials are different. And we want to show different things every time that we put something out, staying fresh, staying current, making sure that people see a different side of us, a different face. Once you see the same person over and over again for 8 years on a website, it tends to become redundant. So being able to be as fresh as possible really sets us apart from other people.
And what I would love to see is more diverse representation as well, ethnic, racial, socioeconomic status, because that really attracts, that draws people to us as well.
Absolutely. And that's actually been a goal of mine over the past year and a half, is that our social media posts, making sure that we show the representation
I've loved
of
that.
Bangor
Thank
School
you.
Department, but also make sure that our website reflects that as well.
Thank you.
One other
Thank you
thing I
so
would add is Senator Baldacci, I met with him yesterday, and he would very much do a testimony for us. He said many good things about the school. His daughters went there and he went there himself. So that might be a good testimony.
I will reach out to him. Thank you.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Okay, moving on to teacher evaluations for the school year of 2021, 2022.
Yeah, this will be a quick one. Teacher evaluations for the school year 2021, 2022. This is an informational item that I wanted to share with the school committee. The state is allowing us to take a year pause from teacher evaluations due to the pandemic. I've spoken with the BEA about that, and also with our our principals. And I think one thing that I would say for myself is I'm very grateful that we've maintained in-person learning this year. We've had a little spike, as you all know, across the state and also within our schools this week with COVID. And I think that by doing what the state's allowing us, it's one less worry for our teachers. But there are some contingencies here that I want to share with you as a school committee. I look at this as trust. I think Principal Butler mentioned the quality of our staff. We have outstanding teachers, so I trust that they will do the right thing by our students, and I believe that wholeheartedly. So the school department is waiving the teacher evaluation requirement for the 2021-2022 school year with the following considerations. Goal setting will be an expectation for all teachers. All probationary teachers will be evaluated. Anyone on an improvement plan or where concerns have been raised will continue to be evaluated. Teachers are in the last group of a 3-year probationary period will be evaluated. All other teachers may opt to have their evaluation requirement postponed until the 2022-2023 school year. However, any teacher who wishes to be evaluated for feedback purposes or to assist in balancing the number of evaluations per year may discuss this with their school principal. So in talking with our principals, we're all in agreement with this, and I spoke to our chair this afternoon about this. So what it would do is it would back our teachers who have 3 or more years of successful teaching. They would all bump back 1 year. And I think it's an easy give for us. The state is allowing it, and I do. We would not be in in-person learning if it wasn't for the, I guess, the dedication of our teachers, our employees, and of course our administrators. But I would say this is something the state is allowing for teachers only. So I want to clarify that too, but I'm in wholeheartedly, and I just wanted to share that with you all. And I think it's a good gift to give as we go into the holiday season. And it's something that I always look at, how will this affect students? And my belief is that our students will get a high quality education, and this is not going to be a factor in that. I'll take any questions anybody may have.
Member Surratt.
Just a comment. I agree wholeheartedly. I think this is a good gesture, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments? No? Okay, thank you, Mr. Tager. On to business action items. Number 1, action items, the minutes. And we have regular meeting of October 27th, 2021, and the organizational meeting of November 8th,
Yes.
2021. You
Thank,
want to take those separately?
thank you. I think you can take them together if it's the wishes of the committee. I'm recommending the approval of the draft minutes of the October 27th regular school committee meeting and the reorganizational meeting of November 8th, 2021.
Quick question. We have 2 new members though, so we probably have to take them separately, I'm assuming.
You know, yes, we should. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. You're correct.
Okay.
So let's go with October 27th.
Okay, regular meeting of October 27th, 2021. And can I get a motion for that, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion, questions about that? Nope, all in favor?
Okay, motion passes, and it would be 4-0 because we didn't have the 2 members yet.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yep. And then next we have the organizational meeting of November 8th, 2021. Can I get a motion?
Second.
Okay, any questions about that? Nope. All in favor?
Motion passes 6-0. Thank you.
Excellent. And then next we have the financial report. The first is summer and fall 2021 bid and quotation report.
I'm recommending approval of the summer fall 2021 bid and quotation report.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, any questions? All in favor?
Motion passes 6-0. Thank you.
Number 2 is the August financial report.
I am recommending approval of the August financial report.
And can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
And all in favor?
Motion passes 6-0. Thank you.
Number 3 is the September financial report.
Recommending approval of the September financial report.
So moved.
Any questions? No? All in favor?
Motion passes 6-0. Thank you.
Can I ask a really quick point question? Is our newest, I understand that her vote does not actually count, but she is able to vote? And would it still be 6? Or would that
It
change to
would, yeah, we want,
7?
no, we want her to vote, but it would not count as far as in
Correct.
our records.
Okay,
Yes.
because I'm like, you can vote on this. but
No,
so-
yeah, Caroline and I had that discussion. We want her to vote on all these and we want her to be involved in the discussions, but officially we cannot count her as a vote.
Perfect. Thank
Will,
you for the
will her
clarification.
vote be recorded in the minutes?
I will have to check on that with our attorney. Good
Okay.
question.
And then number 4, we have the June budget transfers.
I'm recommending approval of the June budget transfers.
Can I get a motion, please? A second?
Second.
Any questions on that? No? All in favor?
Motion passes 6-0. Thank you.
Okay, and next we have personnel nominations and we have teachers.
I'm recommending the following teacher nominations for the 2021-2022 school year with a 1-year probationary contract. Sarah James, grade 2 teacher, Down East School. Allison Venetestein, school nurse, district. Kelly Berglund, ELL teacher, district. And Sarah Hicks, music teacher, Fruit Street School, Abe Lincoln School, and Bangor Regional Program.
And can I get a motion, please? Second?
Second.
Okay, any questions? Member Surratt?
I was just curious, Superintendent Tager, will we now have 2 ELL teachers district-wide?
We do, and we have a need for that.
That's great. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I actually, Kelly Berglund is here in the room, so if you can stand up and just say hello to everyone. She just got her master's degree in ESL, so congratulations.
awesome.
It's great to have you. We will need you because we are having a lot of international
Yes, we are.
students and refugees, so it's great to have you on board, and we stole her from Orono. So it's great to have her.
To vote.
Oh, and we need to vote. All in favor?
Motion passes 6-0. Thank you.
Okay, and next we have extra duty assignments.
Thank you. I'm recommending committee approval of the following extra duty assignments for school year 2021-2022. David Johnson, IEP Coordinator, Fairmont School. Scott Freeman, Team Leader, Bangor Regional Program. Marisu Schuling, Cultural Exchange Advisor, Bangor High School. Stephen Johnson, Boys Swim Assistant, Bangor High School. Caleb Tipton, Boys Basketball Freshman, Bangor High School. Robert Spring, Baseball JV, Bangor High School. Michael Bassey, Girls Swim Assistant, Bangor High School. Keith Simpson, Girls Basketball B, William S. Cohen School. Susan Burke, Governance Committee, District.
Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Alrighty. And any questions?
Yeah.
I think member
sorry.
Fitchers was first.
I was just wondering if you could tell us what the cultural exchange advisor is?
Yes, go ahead, Principal Butler.
So for a long time, that was renamed, that extra duty position used to be AFS advisor. So AFS stands for American Field Service. It's the longest Department of State cultural exchange program. It's 30 plus years at high school. Over the last few years, there's been a change or a proliferation of the number of approved cultural exchange programs, such as PACS. Oh, Dr. Leach is going home to study. Others, 3 or 4 others. it became less about a liaisoning with AFS, the sole organization. So we renamed it, repurposed the position a couple of years ago, and the AFS Culture Exchange Advisor works with the 5 or 6 students who are, but not limited to them, students who are at Bangor High School for a year of academic study, and works to, there's some of the programs have different requirements, like I'm not sure which one, but one requires that they have sort of a presentation about elements of their culture, their the pieces of learning, not only in the classroom but culturally, that they're required to demonstrate it. So the culture exchange advisor would play a role there, but it's inducting, promoting, giving opportunities for students who are on exchange from Bangor High School in the school and in the community. So that's the role there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Member Mundell.
That was my question.
Okay.
Excellent. So if there are no other questions, all in favor?
Motion passes 6-0. Thank you.
And next we have donations, and I believe Member Mundell will read those.
Okay, it's a long list, which is great. To Fruit Street School from the Bangor Elks Lodge, 244, dictionaries for all grade 3 students having a total dollar value of $144. To 14th Street School from the Bangor Elks Lodge, 244, dictionaries for all grade 3 students having a total dollar value of $150. To Abraham Lincoln School from the Bangor Elks Lodge, 244, dictionaries for all grade 3 students having a total dollar value of $100. To James F. Dowdy School from Realty of Maine, a cash donation to support students having a total dollar value of $200. To James F. Dowdy School from C&L Aviation, CEO Chris Kilgore, 50 pairs of sneakers and 50 sweatpants having a total dollar value of $3,500. To James F. Dowdy School from DMT Fund in memory of Danielle Thompson, a cash donation to support students having a total dollar value of $250. To Mary Snow School from Hannaford Helps School Program, a cash donation to support students having a total dollar value of $246. To William S. Cohen School from Beth and Art Cotrides, a cash donation to support families during the holidays, having a total dollar value of $300. To 21st Century Grant Program at Fairmount School from Kimberly and Jonathan Boucher, a cash donation to support the program, having a total dollar value of $100. To 21st Century Grant Program at Fairmount School from Rafael Okuturo, a cash donation to support the program, having a total dollar value of $300. So thank you all so much.
Second, an enthusiastic second.
Member Sprague.
Thank you. Just quick question. Do we do something to thank these groups other than reading their names and recognizing them at this meeting? Do we do a follow-up of any kind just to express our gratitude?
We do a letter as well, yes, sir.
Thanks. Good.
And all in favor?
Motion passes 6-0. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, and do we have any introduction items?
No.
Okay, moving on to committee updates. First, we have comments and questions from the committee. Seeing none, we will go to representatives' reports. Do any of the representatives have updates for us from their committees? Member Mundell?
Yeah, I actually don't have an update, but I was wondering if we could get an update on the wellness committee. And I know that was sort of in the works. I'm just wondering where we are with that.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So what we've done is we've looked at our wellness policy and submitted an update at this point in time to Superintendent Tager. I will share that in looking at our policy, what we try to do is beef up some of the social emotional learning components because we know how important that is. I reviewed a lot of policies in the state, and actually there was only about 2 that address social emotional learning because the law that the policy is based on is around nutrition and wellness. So we are in the process of that. We've done, I believe, a second draft at that at this point in time, and I believe it has to be reviewed legally to make sure that it can move forward. The policy itself has a pretty robust schedule for meetings and for the group that will meet. So once we get the policy finalized, we'll move forward with getting that group together.
Quick question, and I've been asked this question by several of our committee members. Will the suicide prevention be a part of that?
That, I believe, will be a separate committee.
That'll be a separate committee. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And I'm wondering if we can get that listed too, because I know several members asked me specifically about that.
Sure.
And if we can get kind of updates on that as well.
Okay, we'll add it. Yep.
Yeah, member Sorg wanted to be on that one, right? Okay,
Do you want me to add it to the agenda?
please.
Okay, yep.
Please. And I know that, and I think we can do this for next time since we are not meeting yet, but member Surratt will be exchanging spots with member Sorg.
Okay,
So she will be doing suicide prevention. Member Surratt will be doing wellness. Member Mundell will be doing wellness as well. Okay, okay.
okay, where would Mr. Surratt be going?
So member Surratt will be wellness.
Okay.
Member Mundell will be wellness. So, and what I found out recently is that we can only have 2 members at a time. So I apologize, member Luciano. I know she wanted wellness too, but maybe suicide prevention. We can put you on that one.
That would be great.
Okay,
Thank you.
we'll make those adjustments.
Okay,
Okay.
I
thank
just
you.
wanted to clarify, suicide prevention, that per policy is at least 1 meeting a year to
Okay.
update the emergency action plan, and that has already occurred. So we said that the wellness committee, we would incorporate social emotional. So that the suicide committee is done for the school year because we made all
Okay.
those recommendations.
Oh,
I just
see.
wanted to clarify that. Is that
Member Surratt.
But it will meet again.
Yeah.
in Probably.
Probably the end, yes.
Late summer.
Late
Late
spring.
summer.
Yep.
Okay,
Oh, late spring.
okay.
Yep.
So we'll have those members attend that one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Member Mundell?
Yeah, I'm just thinking in the interest of efficiency, I don't know, I just want to throw out the possibility of somehow revising policies to pull those 2 committees together. Because it seems like there is overlap, and I don't, it makes sense to me that a wellness committee could easily be empowered to review the protocol every year. I don't know, I'm just thinking in terms of efficiency. I know there's a special policy, and I know I was involved in creating that. So,
We can take a look at it. I know we beefed up the wellness to include the social emotional and the suicide piece in the wellness. Because we felt like that should be more ongoing throughout the
Yes.
school year.
yes.
And that the suicide committee should really guide the emergency action plan for that.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay, I mean, we'll take a look at it.
I'll take your lead. I was just curious if that would make sense, just to minimize meetings for everybody.
We can take a look at it.
Okay, thanks.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And so do we vote on the exchange
If
for
you,
next time?
if you want, I can add it to the agenda and
To
we
the
can
agenda.
vote at the
Perfect.
next meeting. Yeah.
Perfect. Is that okay, member Surratt? Okay, you're welcome. Any updates? We didn't get to that. Member Surratt?
No, sorry, I had a question comment. Yeah, I don't have a report.
Okay, okay. Any other reports? Member Mundell, do you want to report about the DEI committee?
Did we do that? We did that last
We did
week,
November 3rd, I believe.
right?
Did we update the?
I think we updated,
Okay.
yeah,
okay,
at that
you're
meeting.
right,
Yep.
You're right. And the next one is December 1st.
Correct.
Any other committee reports or updates? No? Okay, so Member Surratt, did you have a question?
No, just a comment if we're at that, are we at, oh no, we have student committee.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah.
And we haven't gotten to that. Okay, so for student committee member updates, I would love to pass the floor on to Caroline Sada, did I pronounce that correctly? To give us any updates.
So the high school is moving into a new quarter of the semester. A lot of activities are going on and the school year is really strong right now. Recently on November 4th, there was the National Honor Society induction ceremony. There was a total of 51 inductees to the National Honor Society, and that's really great. Also today, just before this meeting, there was a Humanities Honor Society induction ceremony where a total of 33 individuals attended. The winter sports season will start up soon with various winter sports. There's practices and tryouts going on right now, and over 30 non-athletic clubs and activities are going on. So it's really exciting for the students.
Thank you so much. Any questions for Caroline? Comments? No, thank you so much again. Do we have any reports, Superintendent Taker?
Nope.
Okay, so information items, important dates to keep in mind. Wednesday, December 15th, 2021. We have a regular meeting at 7 p.m. in council chambers. Wednesday, December 22nd, 2021 is Bangor Day. Wednesday, January 12th, 2022 is our regular meeting, 7 p.m. here in council chambers. And finally, Wednesday, January 26th, 2022, another regular meeting at 7 p.m. here in council chambers. And last opportunity for questions and comments from the committee. Member Surratt went first.
Yeah, I wanted to comment on the COVID vaccine clinic for 5 to 11-year-olds that took place at the William Cohen School. I just want to commend everybody involved, the nurses. Lauren and I brought our children. The nurses, principals, Miss Brenner, Principal Bannon was there. Tim Reed came over from Bangor High School, the assistant principal over there. It's sort of an all hands on deck type of scenario. And it just ran extremely smoothly, efficiently. And it was just it was a real powerful moment to see our children vaccinated. And it's a moment I won't forget. And it was a proud day for the Bangor school system. So thank you.
Member Surratt, I just want to also just draw attention and thank you for that comment. And everything you said, I would echo. I want to make sure I thank Christy Babin too. She kind of took a lead in that. So I'm thankful for that.
And I just want to add that it was so exciting seeing all the parents post on social media. So thank you. Member Sichters.
Two quick things. One, just for clarification, when you were talking about the change of calendar, I had it as Thursday, the 23rd, but in looking at the calendar, it's Wednesday, the 22nd.
It's the 22nd. You are correct.
Okay, so it is Wednesday, the 22nd.
Yes, it is.
Excellent. The second thing I want to say is I want to welcome our student representative, and she is being modest because she was one of the inductees today. So congratulations, along with all the other students. And another thing, just as an FYI, Carolyn said that 50 students were inducted in the National Honor Society. Why that is a big deal is we only induct seniors in our National Honor Society. We do not induct juniors like most of the area schools. So that's just 50 seniors. So that's truly, truly fantastic. And yeah, welcome.
Thank you for that. And Member Sprague.
Thank you. I just wanted to offer a word of thanks to all the friendly faces in the room and everybody sitting up here for the warm welcome to be a part of this committee, and also just because we didn't get a chance to speak at the induction meeting, I just wanted to thank the people of Bangor for giving me and Member Luciano the opportunity to be a part of this group. Anybody who knows me knows how important the Bangor schools are to me and to our family. And I won't dwell on all the reasons why, because you've heard me say it before, but I'm just really looking forward to this opportunity. And this group has just been great to work with so far. And I'm really looking forward to continuing to get to know everybody and work with folks. Member Surratt made the point that I was going to make. The vaccine clinics went very smoothly. We were down at the Doughty School, Principal Butler and Hackett and so many to name, Principal Bannon and Principal Silk, very effectively distracting each child right at the end of the line before they went in. It was on point. So thank you for that. It's not an easy thing. My wife volunteered at the clinic at 14th Street School, and she wouldn't tell me anything about it because she said she was sworn to secrecy about the workings of it. But she had a great experience there, and that seemed to go very well. I wanted to just offer a word of appreciation for our chair. I think all of us have been thinking a lot about you and your family over the last week after losing a family member. Not easy, but as much as no one would have blamed you, we're all happy to see you tonight here with us. And I wanted to round out, I'm switching topics a lot here, but the Bangor City Council had a tragedy happen to a member, Sarah Dubay, who passed away after a short but fierce battle with cancer just recently. And she had so much more to offer this city than she got the opportunity to do. She did offer a tremendous amount in her time here in Bangor. We are a huge loss for her as an elected member of this city, the city's government, but also just as a presence in this community. I'm really going to miss her. I joked with her when she first got elected that I was so mad that she got elected on the year I was leaving the city council, because it got good right as I was leaving, in part because she became a part of that group. And I'm just really going to miss her, and this community will too. So I just wanted to bring that up and say how sad this past week has been for the city. But on a more positive note, again, I'm really looking forward to working with everybody. And I have one request, which is I would really like to get one of those RAM masks people have. I don't know where I can buy one, but I need one of those masks. Thank you. Good night.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Member Sprague. And, with the passing of Sarah Dubay and my father, it's been a very tough week for me. So I promised I wouldn't cry tonight, but thank you all so much for your support and your love. I appreciate it more than you know. Thank you. Whew. With that, and Member Luciano, do you want to say anything too?
First of all, just very thankful to be a part of this committee and thankful for the opportunity to try to serve and do. It's already wonderful. I feel like we have a great starting off point, I think.
Thank you all so much. Okay, perfect. And adjournment. Can I get a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Marwa, you did a great job.